Today we're gonna build this bench.
All right, let's do it. It started with a feeling you've been craving my love, and then we play these little games, a little push and we show.
All right, we got all of our pieces cut out of the list. Got the legs, aprons, stringers, top. All of these will be combined, and then the shelf underneath.
It's emotionally draining, so I walk out the door. Still remind myself, enough is enough. No, I couldn't stay, but your love is a drug. I'm tired of waking up, tired every day. It is what it is, gonna go my own way. Tell me that you love me, but the funny thing is,
So we set our miter gauge 10, and we're gonna make the cuts on the legs. Get that diagonal looking piece. We did this one. I gotta do the other one now. So ideally, these two legs be identical. And tops are flush, bottoms are flush. Then they'll sit just like that. All right, so we got this jig made from Four Eyes Furniture. If you haven't checked out their YouTube channel, it's really good. And really this whole piece inspired by them. So definitely check him out. And so here's what we're doing. We made our line across the board, the taper, 1 inch on one end, 2 3/8 inch on the other end. As you can see, that's where the board's gonna lay. So in order to make the safe cut, you line that line up with where you want it to cut, the edge of the board. Put this piece in, lock it down so that you have something to butt up against. Same thing on this end. It's overhanging a little bit, and then the blade will come right down that line. Now, in order to make the safe cut, we're gonna lock it down with another piece that spans the two pieces. We're gonna screw that through both, and it's gonna hold it tight while we put it through the blade. All right, so we actually went and we milled and cut 2 sets of each leg. We are now going to glue these together to make our legs a little bit thicker. That way, when we put our half lap joints in, put the stringer across the top, I'll be able to sit flush.
I just didn't see the same energy. And now I'm sitting here alone, I toss and turn, couldn't sleep. Used to wait, look at my phone for your link with me. Start to fade, now we gone, find myself what I need. To wake up, still drunk, pass out, no love. Good and shit, I'm good, I'm good.
Dowel these all together for the top. So by doing this, we'll be able to align where our dowel jig needs to go. And what I'm actually going to do too here, A, B, B.
I'm tired of the stress, so why would I stay? It is what it is, gonna go my own way. Tell me that you love me, but the funny thing is, oh God.
One thing you want to be careful of is if you are doing dowels, don't put it too close to the edge, especially if you're like overcut. So like right now it's at 28 inches. It's going to be down to 26 inches. If I put a dowel right here, when I go to cut to like 26 inches, I might cut through that dowel and then you'd see it on the outside. So you want to avoid that. So put your dowels more towards the middle of the piece. Doweled up, glued up, clamped up, got all the legs glued up, clamped up. Alright, so I was going to plane all the legs down 3/4 inch, but instead I'm just going to take 3/4 inch off of it, get them down to 1 1/4. That will leave 1/2 inch lap joint once we get the aprons in. So it's going to be much easier on the table saw. Here we go.
Don't say you down. You gotta stand up and fight. Got to stand up. Don't say you down. You gotta stand up and fight. Oh, you got to stand
Alright, so after a couple days, as you can see, got a little band-aid on my finger. Sliced my finger with an old pole saw here, a little Japanese pole saw. So Careful with that. Other thing, always wear shades in the garage. Smoked my eye on that little guy there. As you can see, thankfully it was on the side of my eye. Just a little scratch. So we're gonna be wearing glasses in here from now on. Be smart. So yeah, safety first. Took a day of probation. We're back though. So today we're gonna cut the extra piece off of the legs, off of the apron. We're gonna use the bandsaw to do so, get it close, and then we'll sand it flush with the leg. We'll do that on both legs, and then we'll see where we wanna go from there. So quick test fit, everything's looking good. I think I'm gonna do an inch overhang on both sides. Then you guys subtract inch and a quarter, that's another 2.5 inches across the bottom, and then across the top here. They're gonna be 9 inches. Connect those with screws, and then fill the holes with plugs that we cut. Pretty much be ready to finish up the top and sand. Putting these stretchers on, first you measure. I got a piece of wood that I just laid underneath on both sides. That was like perfect height. That way it's consistent all the way around. Did that on every leg and under each bit. Now it's time to take this off. Angled cut, we're just gonna use a circular saw with a track to butt up the circular saw against. I got this measured about 3 inches off the edge because I want a little bit of a thickness there before it starts cutting into the chamfer. And we're actually gonna go 50 degrees with the circular saw. I think that'll look nice. Hopefully it does, because that's what we're rolling with. So yeah, so here it is with the cut sides. I really like the look of that. This adds a little bit of dimension. So I'm gonna take this apart, but first I'm gonna label everything, because when I put it back together, you're bound not to get one of the right pieces since they all look the same, and then your pre-drills are gonna be off and it's just not gonna work out. So I'm gonna label everything with the legs, and then we're gonna pre-drill from underneath 2 screws and both the stringers, top and bottom, both sides, to attach the top and the shelf too. So here we go. Now we're gonna fill all the screw holes with our plugs that we cut earlier. Make sure the grain lines up when we put it in. We're gonna put some glue in here, hammer it down, let it sit for a little bit, then we'll saw it off flush, and then we'll sand it. So hopefully it hides it pretty well. You might see them a little bit because it might be not perfect grain line up, but we're gonna do our best to get it how it should be. So.
You gotta stand up and fight. Got to stand up. Don't say you down. You gotta stand up and fight. Oh, you got to stand up.
Alright, got it all sanded up to 120. We filled all the gaps with some tight bond. Throw a little bit in there, sand it, cleans up any of your small little gaps when you glue up. So we got that settled, got it sanded to 120. Next what we're gonna do is we're gonna grain pop it with some water, let that sit. It'll raise the grain, that way when we sand it with 180 it's gonna make it super smooth. And that way if you get water on it in the future, it's not getting that rough feeling. So I got the top and the shelf to 120. I'm gonna grain pop this, let that dry, while I sand the legs to 120, and then by the time I'm done with the legs, these should be dry, ready to be sanded, and vice versa once those are done. So here we go. for the night. We're gonna let that dry up. Everything's rubbed in, it's looking really good. Tomorrow we'll be able to put it back together. So we're so close. And then final photos. So here we go.